It was a cold night, and the atmosphere was thick with nostalgia. You remembered the last touch that made your heart race, the lightness of a hand intertwined with yours. The touch may seem simple, but it's in this gesture that the purest human connection resides, the ability to convey feelings without words, the warmth of a hug, the tenderness of a caress. These make up an emotional iceberg hidden beneath the surface of our relationships. A lost touch is more than just the physical absence. It's the feeling of longing that settles in when the distance becomes unbearable. You may recall moments of laughter, tears, and most importantly, moments of comfort. Each touch carries with it a memory, a fragment of time that echoes in your mind, making you relive the intensity of the experience, even if just distantly. This longing transforms into an echo, resonating in the solitude of nights, when the only company is nostalgia. Have you ever caught yourself thinking about how it would feel to receive that comforting hug? That gesture only someone who truly knows you can provide. Touch brings the sensation of being present, of being seen and understood. Not just physically, but emotionally. In its absence, a void emerges that seems impossible to fill. Everyday interactions become bland, and you realize that all that remains is a deep yearning for that closeness that once felt so natural. The memories of a touch can play out like a film repeating in your mind, the way your skin met theirs, the softness of a kiss that seemed to say everything words could not express. These memories are the moments that define the depth of a relationship. When these experiences are cut off, the impact is profound. You find yourself trapped in a cycle of reflection, trying to understand why touch has become scarce and why connection has faded over time. Sometimes the reasons for this lack are clear: distance, misunderstandings, or even the passage of time. Other times, it simply can't be put into words. What you feel is a silent pain, a lament echoing within the walls of your heart. This pain is a reminder that physical connection has always been an essential aspect of your humanity. When you miss that touch, it feels like a part of you is incomplete, a part that longs to feel alive again. The search for lost touch can lead to new connections, or even to a reunion with someone special. Each gesture, each closeness, brings the hope that intimacy can be restored, that the cold can be warmed once more. After all, touch is a way to heal emotional wounds, to restore trust, and to reaffirm that human connection is not something that can be easily replaced. When you finally allow yourself to feel touch again, the sensation is intense. Every contact is like a rebirth, a reminder that you are capable of feeling, of loving and of being loved. That moment brings the certainty that, even in a world that may seem cold and distant, true connection still exists. And in the end, you realize that lost touch is not merely an absence, but an opportunity to rediscover the beauty of connection. The last touch that made you feel alive is not just a memory, but a promise that connections are still possible, that every gesture counts and every touch matters. Life is full of opportunities to reconnect, to rediscover the joy that comes from a sincere touch. And when this happens, you realize that true intimacy is a continuous journey, where each step is a return to what really matters. Do you remember the last time you looked into someone's eyes and felt a genuine connection? Those moments when a simple glance sparked an entire conversation, where communication went beyond words. This silent exchange reveals the depth of human relationships and our ability to connect in ways we often overlook in our daily lives. The truth is that human interactions are essential for our well-being. In an increasingly digital world, where messages and social media take up a large part of our time, it's easy to get lost in the superficiality of relationships. Physical touch is a way to break that barrier, bringing a sense of reality and authenticity to our lives. When you touch someone, whether it's a handshake or a hug, there's an exchange of energy that goes beyond what is visible. This physical interaction is vital for emotional and mental health. Over time, you realize that the absence of physical connection can create a void. Conversations through texts, while useful, often fail to convey the warmth of real presence. You can feel isolated in the midst of a crowd, surrounded by people, yet lacking the intimacy that a touch can provide. This loneliness reflects the disconnect many feel, even when surrounded by friends or family. Social media can create an illusion of closeness. You can keep up with the lives of others, see photos, videos, and stories, but it doesn't replace the need for touch. Virtual interaction is limited. When you finally meet someone, the anticipation is high. You long for a warm embrace to feel the presence of the other. The reality is that human connection thrives on shared experiences, and these experiences often require a physical component. The challenge is how to seek out and cultivate these connections in a world that has become so impersonal. Often the first step can be the most difficult. You may hesitate, feeling fear of the unknown or insecurity about opening up again. However, it's crucial to remember that vulnerability is an important part of intimacy. Opening yourself up to new relationships, even after experiences of distance, can be an act of courage. Participating in activities that promote real social interactions is a good way to start. Signing up for a class, joining interest groups, or even inviting a friend for coffee can create opportunities to reconnect. Each of these meetings is a chance to experience subtle touches, like a handshake or a hug. These interactions may seem small, but they are the foundations for building deeper relationships. As you allow yourself to feel again, you may notice that memories of lost touch begin to transform. They are no longer just painful reminders, but a motivation to seek new experiences. The desire to reconnect can lead to forming more meaningful bonds, helping to fill the void that once felt insurmountable. Moreover, it is important to consider that each person we interact with has their own stories and experiences. Every touch and every hug has the potential to create a new memory, a new connection that can be as impactful as those you've had in the past. This exchange of experiences is what makes life rich and interesting. By opening yourself up to the new, you may discover that there are others who are also seeking this type of connection. It's natural to feel some apprehension when entering new interactions. However, building relationships is a gradual process. You don't need to rush. The small gestures matter, and every step taken toward intimacy is valid. Touch can start with a simple conversation, a smile, or a gesture of affection. As these moments accumulate, you might be surprised by the depth of the connections you begin to form. The journey in search of lost touch is also a path of self-discovery. You may realize that by seeking connection with others, you're also learning more about yourself. Each new interaction is an opportunity to better understand yourself, recognize your emotional needs, and see what you truly value in relationships. This self-reflection is just as important as the act of connecting with others, and when you finally find someone who resonates with your emotions, the impact is powerful. Touch becomes a symbol of mutual understanding, a recognition that goes beyond words. It is in this space that intimacy flourishes. You can start to open up about your insecurities, fears, and hopes, creating a safe environment where both of you can grow together. Don't forget that human connection is not just about receiving, but also about giving. Being the first to reach out, to offer a comforting touch, can be everything the other person needs. This emotional generosity can create a positive cycle where both feel more secure and open to experiencing intimacy. Thus, over time, the quest for lost touch transforms into a continuous journey of rediscovery. You realize that even in difficult times, the possibility of reconnecting will always be present. Each new encounter, every sincere gesture, represents a new chance to experience the beauty of human relationships. In the end, what remains is the certainty that true intimacy is an experience worth pursuing, a journey that, while filled with challenges, always brings significant rewards. As you move forward on this quest for the lost touch, it's essential to understand that each step can bring valuable lessons. The first of these is recognizing that vulnerability is a fundamental part of human relationships. Opening up to others may feel daunting, but it is through this openness that the deepest connections are formed. You might be surprised to see that many around you also feel the need to connect, share experiences, and find comfort in a sincere touch. Socialization doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the best interactions happen in informal settings. A casual conversation at a cafe, a shared activity in the park, or participation in local events can be perfect opportunities to start new friendships. The key is to allow yourself to be present and open to what these moments can offer. Every person you meet has a unique story, and by listening and sharing, you begin to build a network of emotional support. You may wonder how to spot these opportunities. A good strategy is to pay attention to your interests and hobbies. Joining groups that share your passions can make it easier to connect. If you enjoy art, for example, consider attending exhibitions or taking classes. For music lovers, events and concerts can be the ideal backdrop for interaction. The focus here shouldn't just be on making friends, but on feeling part of a community, a space where touch and connection become more natural. As you engage more, you may feel a fear of rejection. This is a common and valid emotion, but remember that we have all gone through situations like this. Often rejection does not reflect your personal worth, but rather a lack of compatibility at a given moment. The important thing is not to let these negative experiences overshadow your search for new connections. Each interaction is a chance to learn, not an evaluation of your value. Practicing active listening is another skill to be developed. By attentively hearing what the other person has to say, you demonstrate genuine interest and create a safe space for people to open up. This can lead to deeper and more meaningful conversations, where emotional connection becomes almost inevitable. Through listening, you can understand the needs of others and respond more appropriately to those needs. This not only builds relationships, but also helps create stronger and more authentic bonds. As you start to feel more comfortable interacting, it can be helpful to reflect on what you truly value in relationships. What do you seek in a friend or partner? What characteristics do you consider essential? This self-assessment can help you focus on connections that really matter. By aligning with people who share your values and interests, intimacy can blossom more naturally. Sometimes difficulties in connecting may stem from painful past experiences. If you've been hurt in previous relationships, it's understandable to have fears. However, it's vital to remember that each person is unique and that new relationships shouldn't be hindered by past mistakes. By allowing yourself to leave these burdens behind, you make room for new experiences and connections that can be very rewarding. Making small changes to your routine can also help. If you usually spend hours at home, try going to places where interactions are more likely. A book club, a dance class, or even a volunteer group can provide opportunities to meet new people. The key is to be willing to try and step outside your comfort zone. Often, the best connections happen when you least expect them. Additionally, it's important to celebrate the small successes along the way. Every interaction, every shared laugh, every moment of connection counts. Recognizing and valuing these moments can boost your confidence and motivation to keep pursuing meaningful relationships. Instead of focusing solely on major achievements, make a conscious effort to appreciate the small victories, as they are a fundamental part of the process. Self-acceptance also plays a crucial role in this journey. Learning to love and accept yourself as you are can make it easier to connect with others. When you feel comfortable in your own skin, that confidence reflects in your interactions. People are drawn to those who feel good about themselves, and this positive energy can attract new relationships. Don't hesitate to seek support, whether from friends, family, or even professionals, to develop this self-confidence. In moments of loneliness, it's essential to remember that the search for connection is a collective journey. We all, at some point, feel the lack of a touch, of a presence. This is part of the human experience. Sharing your vulnerabilities can create a space where others feel safe to do the same. Empathy is a powerful bridge that connects hearts, and when you open up, you often find others willing to do the same. Ultimately, keep in mind that the search for lost connection is not a race but a continuous journey. Connections can take time to develop, and that's perfectly all right. Every step taken in the right direction is a step toward deeper and more meaningful relationships. By remaining open, vulnerable, and willing to connect, you will find that intimacy is an essential part of life, available to those who dare to seek it. The journey in search of lost connection is ultimately a reflection of how we value our relationships. Each of us has the capacity to cultivate deeper connections, as long as we are willing to take the first step. Often, this willingness begins with the readiness to expose ourselves to others, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. This can be a challenge, especially if you face situations where you felt hurt or disappointed. However, it's essential to remember that each interaction is a new opportunity. The idea is to immerse yourself in environments where interaction is encouraged, such as cooking classes, walking groups, or game clubs. These experiences can not only provide a space for physical touch, but also create an environment conducive to meaningful conversations. By engaging in activities you enjoy, you increase the chances of meeting people with similar interests, making it easier to build connections. Technology can be an ally in this pursuit. Platforms like social media groups and dating apps are tools that can connect you with people seeking the same type of connection. However, it's essential to approach these interactions with an open yet realistic mindset. While the virtual world can create a sense of closeness, true connection still requires a face-to-face meeting. Therefore, use these platforms to set up in-person meetings where the exchange of touches and body language can be fully experienced. Practicing gratitude can also be a vital element in this journey. By recognizing and valuing the small interactions you already have, you begin to cultivate a positive mindset. Gratitude can transform the way you perceive your current and past relationships. When you focus on the good things, even if they're small, it can increase your willingness to seek new connections. However, it's important not to be carried away by the idea that connection should be instant. Deep relationships take time to develop. Be patient with yourself and with others. What matters is not how quickly connections form, but the quality of those interactions. Each conversation, each shared moment, is a step towards a more meaningful relationship. Moreover, self-compassion plays a crucial role in this quest. Being kind to yourself, especially after difficult experiences, can ease the process of opening up again. It's crucial to understand that we all make mistakes, and that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather of courage. When you allow yourself to be human, others will feel comfortable doing the same. The ability to communicate your needs and boundaries is another essential part of this process. Sometimes, the people around you have no idea what you need or what would make you feel more connected. Don't hesitate to express your expectations and feelings. Not only will this help others better understand your needs, but it will also create a space for them to share their own. As you start to feel more comfortable expressing your feelings, you'll notice that conversations become deeper. It's a positive cycle. The more you open up, the more others will feel at ease to do the same. This exchange of vulnerabilities can strengthen bonds and create a sense of community. You'll begin to realize that you are not alone in your experiences, as many share the same need for connection. The practice of active listening is also essential. Often, as we focus on our own stories and experiences, we can forget to listen attentively to what others have to say. By dedicating your full attention to the other person, you demonstrate that you value their words and feelings. This can facilitate the construction of a stronger bond, where both feel seen and heard. Additionally, it's important to cultivate a space of acceptance and respect in your relationships. Each person brings their own story and emotional baggage. Being understanding of others' struggles and challenges is crucial for creating a safe environment. When you accept and respect differences, it can open doors to more authentic and meaningful relationships. Finally, keep in mind that the journey of rediscovering lost touch is an ongoing process. There is no finish line, but rather a path full of opportunities to learn and grow. Each new interaction is a chance to expand your social circle and deepen your connections. You may be surprised to discover that by allowing yourself to feel again, you are not just creating new memories but also rekindling old ones. This search can be challenging, but it is also filled with rewards. As you open yourself up to new experiences and connections, life becomes richer and more meaningful. Touch, in its various forms, continues to be a powerful expression of love and empathy. Therefore, throughout this journey, remember that every step you take toward intimacy is a step worth taking. The possibility of new connections is always within your reach, ready to be explored. As you progress on this journey of rediscovery, it's important to keep an open mind to new experiences. Each day offers the chance to connect with someone in a meaningful way, whether at a social event, in a grocery store line, or even in a casual conversation. Opportunities are everywhere. It's about being attentive and willing to take the first step. These encounters often bring together people with similar interests, making it easier to forge bonds. You might be surprised to find that in an environment where everyone is there to have fun and interact, barriers begin to fall. By engaging in activities, even simple ones, you open doors to new friendships. Additionally, consider the importance of nurturing existing relationships. Sometimes in the pursuit of new connections, we forget to appreciate those already in our lives. A simple phone call to a friend can rekindle a friendship that had been dormant. Conversations can lead to encounters, and these shared moments can strengthen the bonds you already have. It's also vital to recognize that intimacy isn't limited to romantic relationships. Deep connections can arise in friendships, family ties, or even with acquaintances. Each interaction has the potential to be meaningful. By allowing yourself to be vulnerable with friends, you may discover a level of connection that didn't exist before. This can create an environment where both of you feel more comfortable sharing your lives. In some situations, the fear of rejection can be an obstacle. This is a common emotion that everyone faces when seeking new connections. Remember that rejection is not a reflection of who you are as a person. Often, people have their own insecurities and may not be ready to open up. This should not discourage you. On the contrary, it can serve as a reminder that we are all navigating our own struggles. Another helpful approach is practicing gratitude in daily interactions. By expressing thanks for small gestures, you create a positive environment around you. This not only boosts your own emotions, but also encourages others to feel valued. A simple thank you can make all the difference and open doors to deeper conversations. Sometimes, the search for lost touch can be an opportunity to explore new hobbies or interests. Enrolling in a painting, dance, or cooking class can not only provide a space to learn something new, but also a chance to meet people who share these passions. The bonds formed around common interests tend to be stronger and more lasting. As you invest time and energy in yourself, it becomes easier to open up to others. Self-confidence is a key aspect when it comes to forming new connections. When you feel good about yourself, it shows in your interactions. Others notice that positive energy and feel more drawn to connect. Additionally, self-acceptance is a crucial step. Embracing your imperfections and vulnerabilities can relieve the pressure of presenting yourself perfectly. This creates a more authentic space where people feel comfortable opening up. The idea is that by showing our true selves, others will also feel safe to do the same. Active listening is a skill that can be improved. When you focus on what the other person is saying, without interruptions or distractions, it shows that you care. This practice can lead to deeper and more meaningful conversations, where both parties feel valued. As you become a better listener, you also become a better friend. It's important to remember that the journey to reclaim lost connection may include moments of discomfort. This is natural. Each new encounter can be a mix of excitement and nervousness. Accepting these feelings as part of the process is essential. The best connections often arise when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, even if it means facing fear. Over time, you may notice that your interactions start to change. Small gestures become more frequent. A smile, a light touch on the arm during a conversation, or even a warm hug become common. These simple moments are crucial for building an emotional support network and a sense of belonging. The practice of kindness is also a powerful tool. Small acts of kindness can create a significant impact on the lives of those around you. Not only does it help others, but it also brings a sense of personal satisfaction. When you dedicate yourself to making someone smile, that positivity can return to you in unexpected ways. Sometimes the simple act of asking someone how they are can open the door to a deeper conversation. People often appreciate when someone shows genuine interest in their lives. This could be the beginning of a new friendship or even a meaningful relationship. You might also consider the importance of touch in everyday situations. A firm handshake, a farewell hug, or a gentle touch on the shoulder can communicate empathy and understanding. These physical interactions, even if subtle, are crucial for strengthening emotional bonds. Another way to foster connection is by getting involved in volunteer activities. Working together for a common cause can unite people in powerful ways. In addition to doing good for others, this experience can create a sense of community and a shared purpose. Don't underestimate the value of allowing yourself moments of reflection. Take some time to think about your experiences and feelings. This can help you better understand what you truly seek in your interactions. Sometimes, clarity about your own needs can facilitate connection with others. Finally, remember that every step taken toward intimacy is an achievement. There's no rush. Building meaningful relationships takes time and effort, but the reward is worth it. As you continue to seek new connections, you'll be surprised to realize how many opportunities there are to touch the lives of others and, at the same time, be touched yourself. The journey in search of lost touch is ultimately a celebration of life and human connections. The search for lost touch is indeed a journey that intertwines with daily life. You might begin to notice that by opening yourself up to new interactions, small changes in your routine can significantly impact your relationships. The simple act of leaving your house, seeking human contact, and participating in social events can be the first step to re-establishing the connection you desire. Gradually, you will realize that interactions don't need to be grand to be meaningful. A quick conversation with a coworker, a shared smile with a stranger on the bus, or even a warm greeting to a neighbor can contribute to a sense of belonging. These everyday interactions, though brief, accumulate and create a more welcoming environment around you. When you allow yourself to engage more, you might discover common interests with people who previously seemed distant. Conversations about a book, a series, or a hobby can pave the way for deeper discussions. As you become more involved, vulnerability transforms into strength, and you realize that others are also seeking connection. Participating in groups or activities that spark your interest is an effective way to cultivate new relationships. Whether it's a cooking class, a book club, or a running group, these experiences provide a natural setting for interaction. Sharing activities creates a bond, a foundation upon which new friendships can be built. In a learning environment, the pressure to connect may lessen. You're there to share experiences, not just to form ties. This creates a space where intimacy can flourish organically. As you participate in these activities, the exchange of glances and smiles becomes more common, marking the beginning of new connections. Additionally, it's essential to remember that empathy plays a vital role in interactions. By putting yourself in someone else's shoes, you not only understand their experiences, but also become more attuned to their emotional needs. This can be an important step toward building meaningful relationships. Attentive listening and genuine presence can create an environment where people feel comfortable sharing their own feelings and experiences. Sometimes, what people desire most is to be heard. By practicing active listening, you show that you care, and this can open doors to deeper conversations. This practice not only strengthens existing bonds, but it also creates new opportunities for connection. You may discover that by listening, you are building a safe space for others to feel comfortable opening up. Social networks can also be a starting point for reconnection. Online groups, forums, and virtual communities bring together people with similar interests. Actively participating in these platforms can help you find new friendships. However, use these means as a complement and not as a substitute for physical contact. The challenge is to convert these virtual interactions into real-life meetings. Arranging a coffee or a walk can be a great way to take the connection to the next level. When relationships gain a physical dimension, the depth of interactions tends to increase. You may find that the energy present in a face-to-face meeting is incomparable to any online exchange. Another effective strategy is to cultivate gratitude. Recognizing and valuing simple moments can transform your perspective. By expressing gratitude for a gesture, no matter how small, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also create a positive environment around you. This positivity is contagious and can encourage others to be more open and receptive. It's important to keep in mind that building meaningful relationships takes time. There's no need to rush the process. Each interaction is a step toward a deeper connection. Sometimes, the best friendships emerge from the simplest and most spontaneous conversations. The key is to remain open and willing to take risks. Additionally, practicing self-care should be a priority. When you feel good about yourself, it reflects in your interactions. Being in an emotionally healthy place makes it easier to connect with others. Take time to care for yourself, whether through activities you enjoy, physical exercise, or moments of relaxation. This dedication to your well-being can boost your self-esteem and confidence. As you move forward in your quest for lost touches, it's essential to remember that you are not alone. Many people share the same desire for connection. By opening yourself up to new experiences, you may discover that there are others willing to do the same. This journey is not just about finding new friends, but also about rediscovering yourself and strengthening your capacity to love and be loved. As you allow yourself to feel again, you may find that the memories of lost touch become a driving force in seeking new experiences. Each new interaction has the potential to be a new opportunity for connection. As you permit yourself, you might discover that life is full of surprises, and that each step taken toward intimacy brings priceless rewards. The search for lost touch is an ongoing journey, full of lessons and growth. By staying open, vulnerable, and willing to connect, you'll find that intimacy is an essential part of life, available to those who dare to seek it. Embrace every moment, every interaction, and every new touch, as these experiences are what make life truly meaningful. You may find yourself in situations where connection feels challenging, such as in crowded spaces or social events. In those moments, anxiety might rise. It's important to remember that most people are also seeking connection. You're not alone in this quest. A good first step is to observe the dynamics around you, identify who seems receptive, and try to initiate a conversation. A simple "hi" can open the door to a more meaningful interaction. At social events, there's often pressure to shine or make deep connections instantly. However, the best relationships often develop slowly. Start with small interactions, like asking questions about the environment or shared interests. These surface-level conversations can evolve into deeper dialogues as trust builds. If you have difficulty starting a conversation, consider preparing some open-ended questions that encourage the other person to share more about themselves. Questions like, "What do you enjoy doing in your free time?" or "What are your hobbies?" can reveal shared interests and facilitate communication. This not only shows your genuine interest, but also creates a space for the other person to feel comfortable opening up. Another approach is to cultivate empathy when connecting with others. By recognizing and validating the emotions of those around you, you create a trusting environment. This is especially important in moments of vulnerability, where the willingness to share can be fragile. When you show understanding, people feel safer to share their own stories. Volunteering is another powerful way to connect with others. By working on causes that you consider important, you not only make a difference in the lives of others, but also meet individuals who share your values. This connection through a common purpose can be quite rewarding and can form lasting bonds. You might also explore the possibility of participating in support groups. These spaces offer the chance to meet people who are going through similar experiences. Sharing your stories and listening to those of others can be a significant step toward healing and reconnection. The empathy generated in these environments can lead to new friendships and a sense of belonging. As you open yourself up to new experiences, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. Accepting that some interactions may not result in new friendships is part of the process. Instead of getting discouraged, focus on what you learned from each experience. Each attempt to connect is an opportunity for personal and emotional growth. It's also essential to set healthy boundaries in your relationships. Understanding what you are willing to accept and what is unacceptable is fundamental to maintaining healthy connections. Clearly communicating these boundaries can help avoid misunderstandings and create a safe space for both parties. This is especially important in more intimate relationships, where expectations can be higher. Don't underestimate the power of physical touch, even if it's subtle. A touch on the arm, a warm smile, or a firm handshake can convey support and understanding. These small interactions are key to creating a sense of closeness and intimacy. Physical presence can be comforting and provide a safe space for dialogue. You might also consider engaging in activities that promote connection, such as dance classes or team sports. Participating in these activities not only offers a chance to have fun, but also to interact with people in a dynamic and collaborative environment. This can facilitate the formation of bonds and create shared memories. As you allow yourself to explore new connections, it's important to reflect on your own emotional needs. What are you looking for in a relationship? This self-assessment can help you identify which connections are the most meaningful. By focusing on relationships that meet those needs, you increase the chances of building deeper bonds. Practicing gratitude can be a powerful ally. By recognizing the positive interactions in your life, you become more likely to seek out and value significant connections. This positive mindset can open doors and create an environment where intimacy becomes more accessible. Finally, remember that the journey in search of lost touch is an ongoing process. There is no final destination, only a path filled with opportunities for growth. Every step towards connection is a step towards a richer and more meaningful life. By staying open and willing to connect, you will discover that intimacy is an essential part of the human experience, always available to those who dare to seek it. Before you go, take a moment to do two things. Take a deep breath and hold on to what touched your heart today. And if it makes sense, share this story with someone who also needs to hear it.